You cannot chase what you haven't defined. Most people stay broke because they never get clear on exactly what financial freedom looks like for them. They have general wishes but no specific target. They say they want more money, but how much? By when? Doing what? Until your mind gets specific, your actions stay vague. The mind is a powerful machine, but it only responds with intensity when the instructions are clear. Vague intentions create weak energy. A precise goal creates direction. When you say, I want to own a paid-off home, generate $10,000 a month in passive income, and retire by 45, you give your brain a map. Now it knows what to focus on and what to ignore. Once you define your purpose, decisions get easier. You'll know what to say yes to and what to turn down. You'll stop wasting money on things that don't align with your goal. You'll stop drifting. Financial clarity gives your ambition something to chase, not just wish for. This clarity also strengthens your confidence. You start to believe that what you want is real and reachable. People around you might doubt you, but your vision is no longer dependent on their belief. You don't need approval for a goal that you've made definite. Having a clear financial purpose doesn't mean you know every step. It just means you've planted a flag. You know where you're headed. You might change vehicles along the way, different jobs, different illnesses, but your destination stays constant. Most people give up not because they lack talent, but because they don't have a clear reason to push forward. You're not lazy, you're uninspired. Get specific and watch how your energy shifts. Get definite, and your actions will stop being random. Without a clear financial purpose, you're always reacting, you're always surviving. The moment you define your financial destination, you stop surviving and start building. Your thoughts are the soil where wealth is planted. If you think broke, you live broke. A poor mindset can destroy even the best opportunity. If you believe money is evil or you think you're not meant to be wealthy, every financial move you make will feel wrong, even if it's the right one. You have to break the mental chains before you break the financial ones. That starts by studying your beliefs. Where did you learn about money? From who? And are those lessons still serving you, or are they holding you back? If someone raised you to think money equals greed, it's going to be hard to attract wealth without guilt. Wealthy people don't just think about how to get money. They think about how to multiply it, how to serve with it. They don't worship it, but they respect it. If you treat money like a curse, it won't stay in your life. If you treat it like a tool, you'll build something with it. The wealthy read differently. They study differently. They network differently. They ask questions that break minds don't ask. They don't say, can I afford this? They ask, how can I afford this without risking my future? They don't fear investing, they fear staying broke. You don't develop a wealth mindset in one day. It takes daily effort. You have to consume empowering thoughts the same way you consume food. Feed your mind with information that stretches you. Replace entertainment with education. Trade gossip for game plans. Surround yourself with content, people, and environments that reinforce wealth thinking. It's not just about hype, it's about reconditioning. The old patterns have to be challenged, or they'll keep running your life. Every day you choose your financial future by the way you think. If your mindset doesn't grow, your money won't either. You can win the lottery and still end up broke because your mindset didn't change. Lasting wealth starts from within. One paycheck is one point of failure. You lose that and the whole structure collapses. That's why building multiple streams of income is a luxury. It's survival. It's security. It's the path to true financial freedom. When your money flows from different directions, you stop living in fear. Start with what you know. If you have a 9 to 5, keep it but use the evenings to create. Freelance your skills, teach online, sell something you love, create content, build something digital. Open a service-based side hustle. The first step isn't about perfection, it's about movement. Every new stream doesn't have to be huge. A few $100 from one, 1,000 from another, it adds up. The key is consistency. Keep growing, refining, and stacking. As you learn, one stream becomes two, then three, then five. Eventually, one could explode and fund your dreams. Passive income isn't truly passive at the start. You work hard up front, writing, recording, building, investing. But over time, that work pays you while you sleep. That's where the real freedom lies, waking up knowing you're still earning without clocking in. Multiple streams give you leverage. If one dries up, the others hold you up. You're no longer at the mercy of layoffs or economic shifts. You've built a financial ecosystem. It's not just about making money, it's about making it flow. You'll have to sacrifice. You'll work weekends. You'll say no to parties. You'll invest hours into things that don't pay right away. That's the price of freedom. Most won't pay it. That's why most stay stuck. But if you do the work now, you'll buy back your time later. The wealthiest people didn't build income, they built incomes. They didn't rely on chance, they created options. And those options gave them the financial confidence most people never experience. You can't manage what you don't measure. Most people aren't broke because they don't make money. They're broke because they don't manage what they have. Budgeting is not punishment. It's discipline. It's control. It's the habit that separates wealth builders from wishful thinkers. A budget tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It forces you to make conscious choices. You find out real quick what matters to you. You stop wasting money on things that bring zero return. You start prioritizing your freedom over your impulses. Saving money must become automatic, not optional, not when it's convenient. You build the habit by paying yourself first, before the rent, before the bills, even if it's 10% of every paycheck, that money belongs to your future. Those savings are your safety net. It gives you breathing room. It keeps you from panicking when life throws a punch. It gives you options. Options to walk away from bad jobs. Options to invest. Options to take a risk. Without savings, you're always negotiating from fear. Track every dollar. Use tools, apps, notebooks, whatever works. But know where your money lies. Know what your expenses are. Know what subscriptions are draining you. Know what habits are keeping you broke. Financial ignorance is a decision you can no longer afford. The goal isn't to hoard money. It's to manage it wisely. Once you master saving, you can move into investing. But if you skip the saving step, you're always playing catch up. Every dollar saved is a dollar of power. It's a dollar not owned by someone else. People who respect their money see results. People who treat it casually stay broke. Budgeting and saving aren't flashy, but they are the fashion of freedom. Before your bank account grows, you must grow. No investment gives higher returns than personal development. The more valuable you become, the more you can earn, serve, and build. Your skills, your mind, your habits, these are the true assets. Don't wait for permission to improve. Read daily. Study relentlessly. Learn a new skill, sharpen an old one. Your income will always be in direct proportion to your ability to solve problems and deliver value. The more you know, the more you can offer. Education doesn't end after school. That's when it starts. You have to re-educate yourself in money, business, communication, leadership, and investing. Most of what school taught you won't help you get rich. You have to seek out the knowledge yourself. Spending money on courses, coaching, and books, it's not an expense, it's a strategy. A $100 book could save you from a $10,000 mistake. A weekend seminar could spark an idea that changes your life. Every cent spent on growth is a seed. It will multiply. When you invest in yourself, you carry that value everywhere. No one can take it from you. Recessions can't steal it. Layoffs can't erase it. You become recession-proof because your skill set becomes undeniable. Your mind becomes your insurance policy. Confidence comes from competence. The more you learn, the more you trust yourself. You stop doubting every move. You stop asking for approval. You start leading. You start building things that other people pay to access. And that's how freedom begins. You will never outperform your self-image. You must grow into the person your goals demand. Invest in that version of you daily. If you hang around 5 broke people, guess who's going to be the 6th? Your environment is more powerful than your willpower. You might have the best intentions, the strongest goals, and the deepest hunger, but if you're surrounded by people who laugh at ambition, mock discipline, financial energy is contagious. When you're around people who are building, learning, investing, and creating, you naturally absorb that mindset. You hear different conversations. You get exposed to strategies, resources, and game plans that aren't even imagined off. What you once thought was too much suddenly becomes the norm and your standards rise. But if your current circle is constantly complaining about their jobs, blaming the government, or living the government, that energy seeps into your thinking. You start feeling guilty for wanting more. You second-guess your goals. You doubt whether wealth is for you. That's not inspiration, that's quiet sabotage, and it will cost you years if you don't catch it early. You need to be around people who talk about investments like other folks talk about TV shows. People who get excited about building something meaningful. People who challenge your excuses instead of comforting you. People who have results, not just opinions. When you spend time with those kinds of individuals, your game sharpens automatically. Your network doesn't have to be in person. Books, podcasts, virtual mentors, online communities, these count too. The key is to deliberately feed your mind with the energy of growth. Don't rely on geography to determine your influences. Use technology to expand your reach. You can live in a small town and still learn from billionaires if your phone is connected to the right content. You will outgrow some people, and that's okay. You're not better than them, but you are choosing a different path. Not everyone is meant to come with you. Some will stay stuck in the same cycles for life. You can love them, but you can't let them limit you. Your financial destiny is too important to be slowed down by people who aren't moving. Elevating your circle means you have to be bold. You have to initiate conversations you used to avoid. You have to ask questions without shame. You have to get uncomfortable sitting with people who know more than you and be humble enough to listen. Growth doesn't happen in safe spaces. It happens in environments that stretch your limits. Watch how people treat money, time, and opportunity. Do they waste it or multiply it? Do they fear risk or evaluate it? Do they complain about problems or solve them? Their patterns will become your patterns. Their mindset will influence your mindset. This is not theory, it's law. We become who we consistently associate with, whether we like it or not. Find people who make you feel like your goals are too small. Stick with people who push you to execute, not just dream. Walk with those who've already walked where you want to go. And even if you start off being the least successful one in the room, stay long enough and you'll rise to match the temperature of that environment. Wealth doesn't grow in a comfort zone. Playing it safe keeps your money small. If you want financial freedom, you have to be willing to take risks, but not just any risks. Calculated financial risks. Risks backed by research, logic, timing, and strategy. It's not about being reckless, it's about being intentional and bold at the same time. Fear will always try to convince you that risk equals danger, but the truth is, not taking a risk is the most dangerous thing you can do. Inflation eats your money every year. Opportunities slip through your fingers while you hesitate. Playing defense all your life might keep you safe, but it will never make you free. At some point, you have to go offensive with your finances. Calculated risk means doing your homework. You study the deal. You learn the industry. You ask questions. You know the numbers. You don't just jump into a business or investment because it sounds good. You look at the data, the trends, the track record. It's about making informed decisions, not emotional ones. The more you prepare, the more confident you become. But here's the reality. Even the best calculated risk still carries uncertainty. That's why most people freeze. They want guarantees. They want someone to promise them success. That's not how freedom works. You have to move while you're still unsure. You have to act while there's still a chance it could go wrong. Because the truth is, it could also go very, very right. You learn the most from the risk you take, even when they don't work out perfectly. The experience is priceless. It sharpens your instincts. It teaches you how money moves. It exposes your gaps. You'll never learn these lessons sitting on the sidelines waiting for perfect timing. The real wisdom comes from the field, not the classroom. Start with manageable risks. Don't bet your entire life savings on one idea. Begin small, scale smart. If you're starting a business, keep your job while you build. If you're investing, don't chase hype, study fundamentals. The goal is progress, not gambling. Strategic risk-taking means knowing what you can afford to lose without destroying your future. Look at every person who's built something great. They all risked something. Time, energy, reputation, money. But they didn't leap blindly. They had a plan. They studied the landscape. They built a foundation and took action even when fear tried to grip them. That's what separates doers from dreamers. One moves despite uncertainty. Comfort won't bring you an increase. It'll keep you on repeat. There are no major financial breakthroughs without stepping into some level of discomfort. If you're too scared to move, you'll watch people with less talent but more courage pass you by. The risk you avoid today might be the breakthrough you need tomorrow. You can't grow money without stretching your mindset. The best opportunities don't wait. They reward the prepared, the bold, and the disciplined. So when you see something that aligns with your plan, and you've done the work to understand it, move. Don't let doubt rob you of the harvest. Risk is the price of entry into the world of wealth. Calculated risk is how you pay that price wisely. Debt is a silent killer. It doesn't show up with flashing lights or alarms, but it creeps into your life and drains your power, your peace, and your progress. You can't build real wealth when you're chained to monthly payments. Every dollar that goes to interest is a dollar you can't invest, save, or use to create something meaningful. That's why you have to treat debt like an emergency. People get comfortable living with debt like it's normal, but it's not normal, it's bondage. It's mental slavery disguised as convenience. They tell you it's okay to carry credit card balances, lease cars, and finance furniture. They don't tell you that every time you borrow for something that doesn't produce income, you dig yourself deeper into a hole that's hard to climb out of. When you owe money, you work for someone else. Your paycheck doesn't belong to you. It's spoken for before it even hits your account. That's not freedom, that's survival. And as long as you accept that as a way of life, you'll keep spinning in circles, frustrated and exhausted, wondering why nothing's changing. Eliminate debt, and you start taking your power back. It starts with getting serious. No more minimum payments just to keep the collectors quiet. No more I'll get to it later mindset. You attack it, you get aggressive, you cut back, you sacrifice, you sell things, you pick up extra work. You do what you've got to do because you're tired of being controlled. You're tired of waking up stressed and going to bed anxious. Some people think that being debt-free is impossible because they've been in it for so long. But the problem isn't the size of the debt, it's the mindset. If you believe there's no way out, you'll never even try. But if you treat it like life or death, something clicks inside you. You stop making excuses and start making payments. You stop waiting for a miracle and start becoming one. List every debt you owe. Write them down in order. Know the total. Own it. Then create a plan to attack them one by one. Focus on the smallest one first to build momentum, then roll that payment into the next. It's called the debt snowball, and it works not just mathematically, but psychologically. Every win builds confidence. Every step forward adds fuel to your fire. And stop creating new debt while trying to pay off the old. That's like trying to put out a fire while pouring gasoline on it. If you can't afford it in cash, you can't afford it. Period. Delay gratification. Learn to say no. You don't need a new phone, a vacation, or a brand new car. You need freedom. And freedom costs discipline, not money discipline. Debt is not just a financial issue, it's an emotional one. It affects your relationships, your sleep, and your confidence. It makes you feel small. But the good news is once you start gaining ground, that confidence comes back. You walk taller, you think clearly, you stop living for the weekend and start designing your life. That shift is worth every sacrifice you make. Every dollar you send toward debt is a declaration, I'm not living like this anymore. I refuse to be average. I refuse to be a slave. I refuse to be stuck. When you eliminate debt like your life depends on it, it's because deep down you know it does. Financial freedom doesn't start with earning more, it starts with owing less. Everybody loves the idea of success, but not everybody loves the process. That's where most people mess up. They want excitement, they want new, they want stimulation. But real wealth doesn't come from drama or thrill. It comes from doing the right thing over and over, long after the hype is gone. Consistency is powerful. It's what separates people who finish rich from people who start loud and fade out. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that motivation will carry us, but motivation wears off. It's easy to stick to your budget for a week. It's easy to grind for a month. It's even easier to say no to spending when your bank account is down. But what about the fifth month when your routine feels stale? What about the days when you're doing everything right and still not seeing results? That's where most people tap out, not because it's hard, but because it's boring. Discipline isn't about how you feel. It's about what you do, regardless of how you feel. If you want financial freedom, you have to be okay with repetition, tracking your spending, saying no to useless purchases, investing small amounts every single month, reading, learning, reviewing. It's not exciting, it's not dramatic, but it works. And the longer you stick with it, the more momentum you build. The problem is we live in a world that's addicted to fast money, fast progress, fast gratification. But financial growth doesn't work like that. Compound interest doesn't show up in a week. Wealth building is a long game, and the people who win are the ones who can stay committed each time when it feels like nothing's changing. They trust the process and keep showing up. There are going to be days when you want to quit. Days when you look at your budget and think, why am I even doing this? Days when you're tempted to go back to old habits just to feel something different. Those are the moments that define your future. If you push through them, you separate yourself from 95% of the world. If you don't, you stay stuck with them. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. Small wins every day are better than big wins once in a while. Skipping the lat today won't make you rich, but doing it every day and investing the difference will change your future. Saving $200 a month won't feel exciting, but after 5 years, it becomes something powerful. Consistency multiplies effort. It takes what feels small and makes it significant. Track your progress so you can see the fruits of your labor. Watch how your debt shrinks. Watch how your investments grow. Watch how your savings start stacking. That's how you stay motivated, by measuring what's working. And when things slow down, remind yourself this is part of it. Boring doesn't mean broken. Boring means you're doing it right. Consistency builds trust in yourself. When you keep promises to your goals, you prove to yourself that you're serious. That self-respect becomes fuel. You don't need outside praise. You don't need applause. You know you're putting in the work. And once that discipline becomes part of who you are, success becomes automatic. You're no longer depending on hype, you become a system. There will always be someone chasing a shortcut. Someone is switching strategies every month. Someone is looking for a magic trick. Let them. You've chosen the long road because you know it's the only one that lasts. Stay consistent. Stay locked in. Let repetition be your secret weapon. That's how wealth is built, not in spurts, but in patterns repeated with purpose. Financial freedom is not a fantasy, it's a formula. It's not reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the connected. It's for the disciplined. It's for the intentional. It's for the one who decides that average isn't enough and comfort is no longer an excuse. Everything you need to break free is already within your reach, but you've got to do the work. You've got to think differently, move with purpose, study money like your life depends on it. Kill the debt, take smart risks, build habits that don't fade when motivation does. You've got to surround yourself with people who are going somewhere, who challenge you, who push you to level up. Financial freedom demands a shift not just in how you handle money, but in how you see yourself. This is not about getting rich quickly. This is about building a foundation that can't be shaken. It's about controlling your time, owning your decisions, and living life on your terms. It's about knowing that you don't have to beg for permission to breathe. You've earned that right with your consistency, your focus, your sacrifices. The rules are simple, but they're not easy. That's why so few follow them. But if you do, if you lock in, if you commit, if you hold the line even when it's not flashy, you'll look up one day and realize you'll live a life most people only cite, not because you're lucky, but because you chose to live by principles that never fail. So now the decision is yours. Will you stay in survival mode, or will you build a legacy? Will you keep making excuses, or will you start taking control? The path to financial freedom is open, but you've got to walk it, brick by brick, rule by rule, day by day. This is your moment. Don't just dream about freedom, go claim it.